Hey everyone, welcome back to Makeup Artist Chats. I'm Sue Louise McLaurin, and today I am joined by the beautiful and the incredible makeup artist, Carly Stone. So Carly and I have actually been friends for, what is it? It's about 5 years now.
Yep.
So I pretty much know the answers to all the questions that I'm going to ask her today, but she is a really incredible artist. And what I really love about Carly is she is an artist who is really true to her principles. As a devout animal lover, Carly has developed a cruelty-free kit and a vegan kit. And I know it's something that more and more clients are asking for now. So today I wanted to invite Carly to come and have a chat with us about her career and particularly about making that transition to maybe not a completely cruelty-free kit, but how to incorporate more cruelty-free products and tools into your kit. Now, before I chat to Carly, I will just say that in my career, I know that the whole cruelty-free thing has come a long way in the last, especially in the last 10 years. I can remember I used to work for a particular magazine about 10 or 15 years ago, and I would often be sent natural and cruelty-free makeup and vegan makeup, and often it didn't perform. But what I'm learning is that the technology has come a long way and the products are so much better these days. So I'm really looking forward to getting some tips from Carly on some new products as well. So Carly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
If you could start off by telling us a little bit about your background. How long have you been a makeup artist and what kind of got you into being a makeup artist?
Yeah, awesome. So I've been a makeup artist for over 10 years now. I started out after my son was born. I wanted something that was a bit more flexible, just something not 9 to 5. I went back to my job after I finished maternity leave and I put him into daycare, and he was there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I was essentially just working 40 hours a week and traveling 10 hours a week to pay for daycare. And I just thought that was stupid. And I'd always wanted to do something creative. And one of my friends just said, "Why don't you do makeup? You're so good at it. You do everybody's makeup." So I thought I would give it a go, and I did a certificate. I knew that I didn't want to do cinema or film. I'm not really into blood and gore. Surprise, surprise, being a vegan makeup artist. Um, and I just thought I'll do the cert because it's not a huge investment and I can dip my toe in and see how I go. And so I did that. I was still working part-time, but I just felt that was like a bit of a safety net for me. And I went, I'm just going to quit. And I did. So that was, like 11 years, coming up to 11 years now.
Awesome. Awesome. So you've been full-time essentially. I mean, I know you're a mum, you've actually got 2 children.
Yes.
So, when we say full-time makeup artist, it's also full-time makeup, full-time mum,
Yes.
but you don't have any other source of income now.
No, that's it for me.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, excellent. And what sort of work is it that you do? Is it mainly personal clients and weddings, or do you kind of mix it up a little bit?
Predominantly at the moment, it is weddings,
Mhm.
personal clients, and I do a small amount of commercial and corporate work as well. Going forward, I would like a little bit more of that just because my kids are a bit older now and I want to pull back a little bit on Saturday work.
Mm.
So get a little bit more during the week just to balance that out.
Yeah, yeah. Have you found, I mean, obviously we're in Brisbane, we're recording this interview in October 2021. So we're lucky here because we don't have any, well, we do have a few restrictions. We have to wear masks and that sort of thing, but we don't have a lockdown here like other states in Australia, although they're kind of looming over our heads at the moment. But have you found in the 18 months or so that we've had COVID that things have changed with the sort of work that you're booking?
Yeah, definitely. So initially, of course, we had our lockdown
Mm,
and we weren't allowed to do anything. It was actually very confusing. And I know I'm not the only makeup artist that felt that way because there was just no clarity for our particular industry.
mm,
It's like hairdressers or, barbers or beauty therapists, but not anything related to us um, as makeup artists. So there was that confusion. And then, obviously the work dried up.
mm.
We're like, well, we'll start making sourdough and, you know, wall hangings and,
Jigsaw puzzles.
yeah, take up craft and things. And then after that passed, there was a real rush. There was a real
Mm,
rush for people to get married. They just wanted to say I do. So I was very, very busy at the start of 2021. It was
yeah.
just, I actually felt like I wasn't going to be able to maintain that pace.
Mm,
And there wasn't so much commercial work though, because people didn't have money because their businesses weren't open. And they were sort of doing a lot more e-commerce, smaller. I would just do it in our shop, sort of that
yeah.
kind of thing. And a lot of businesses weren't open either. So,
Mm,
you're getting your real estate agents and your lawyers wanting, fresh headshots and that sort of thing too. So yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely been a shake up for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Tell me, what's your favorite thing about being a makeup artist?
Um, it's kind of cliche, and I feel a lot of makeup artists say it. It's just how you make your client feel.
Mm,
But I was thinking about that, and it's not just how you make them feel, it's the fact that makeup is products that you apply to the skin. So it's stuff you stick on your skin. It's only skin deep, but it really transforms them. And I feel like when they see their face after they've sat in your chair, it's this metamorphosis where they see themselves from the outside. They see themselves probably the way someone else looks at them and thinks, oh my God, they're so beautiful. But they just don't know because, we're so critical of ourselves.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really enjoy that last moment when they see themselves and they obviously are seeing themselves look a little bit different, but you've brought out that beauty that is there, that is physically there, but they just don't see because you've helped to minimize what they see as imperfections.
Yeah. That's a really cool way of looking at it. Like, I love the way that you said that they see themselves as if from the outside looking in. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never really thought about that. That's a really cool way of looking at it. Yeah. Yep. And what has been your biggest challenge?
Well, um, I think probably self-belief.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe a struggle for a lot of creatives as well. Believing in yourself, believing in your craft, believing in your skills. And I think too, when we do this full time, when we say this is our full time job, it's not 9 to 5. And it's like, oh yeah, but you only work and you only. So it's difficult also for your family and your loved ones to see it as a real
Mm,
career. I know I struggled with that early on, that people were like, yeah, but it's not a real job.
yeah.
And then that sort of played in my mind. So, but yeah, I'm well past that now.
Mm, mm. Well,
I'm
that's
too,
good to hear.
I'm too busy and, they know I'm busy and often I don't get to go, miss out on family events because it's like, well, I'm working. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you didn't book me 6 months in advance.
Yeah. Do you still struggle with that self-belief and those feelings? Is it like,
Yeah.
it's obviously changed from, can I make this a career? How does
Mm.
that manifest now?
Yeah, definitely from time to time, it still pops up. I think a lot of it comes from comparitis.
Mm,
Um, but I'm probably a lot older than a lot of makeup artists out there.
mhm.
And I think when you get older, you don't care so much what people think of you.
Yeah.
And you realize that life isn't about comparing yourselves to other people. It's more about, I I'll do better than I did yesterday, or I'll try harder than I did yesterday. So yeah, just not I feel like for me, just not being on socials as much, and just following people that are uplifting or positive and have a similar outlook to me.
Mm,
That's how I navigate that, I feel.
yeah. And given that you've been doing this for well over 10 years, you would have kind of started, I guess, before social media was really a thing, before Instagram was a thing. So let's talk about firstly, some of the trends that you've seen change in that time.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel, sometimes when you don't grow up with that or you don't evolve with that, it's a bit, you're sort of playing catch up, like, oh, all these young people. Um, yeah, so trends, I mean, definitely eyebrows has always been
Mm,
like, are they unkempt? Are they pencil thin? Are they very defined and looking like an albatross? Whereas now it's come back, to sort of that more natural, fluffy, fuller
yeah.
brow, which I
Mhm.
adore. Um, I don't know, is contouring ever going to die? I'm not sure. Um, look, I personally love a contour, but I prefer to look at it as sculpting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not creating like a Neapolitan ice cream where you've got your
Mm,
chocolate, your strawberry, and your vanilla, but just making that nice lift, perhaps
mm,
on the cheeks or around the chin. So I think, yeah, contouring, it's definitely on its way out, I think. And probably, um, coverage in terms of foundation. People are much more, that sort of body positivity and self acceptance is a lot more prevalent now. And we're sort of learning to get back to that and embrace it and, try and show ourselves a bit more love. So I think just, yeah, more of a natural kind of a vibe.
yeah. Yeah. Now, I know that's really a part of your appeal to your clients. I know that inclusivity is something that's really, really important to you. And can you give us any tips about how you go about attracting your ideal clients?
Um, I felt like early on, I didn't know my clients. Back
Hmm.
when I started, you were there wasn't that, like, freelance makeup artistry wasn't that big.
Yeah.
There was TV makeup artists, there was film makeup artists, or you went to Mac or Napoleon, or you went to Maya or David Jones to get your makeup done. And when I started, it was you were Mac or you were Napoleon. And if you weren't either of those, you were nothing. And I was nothing because I just didn't vibe with those
Mm,
brands. So I did find that really challenging. But I heard a piece of advice from a business coach, and she said, find your niche, go hard, go deep.
mm,
So that sort of got my brain ticking over, and I just felt like I thought more about that. Like, what is my niche? What are my passions? How do I do my own makeup? You
yeah.
know, so I think it just developed from there.
Mm, mm. Yep. Yep. And I think that is something that, I know that's something that I talk about a lot when I'm coaching makeup artists, and particularly as it relates to social media, is, post the work that you want to be doing. And that's all about this whole niche thing. It's really important that you do find that niche or that ideal client, kind of same thing.
Yeah.
um, because if you're posting all the different sorts of work, people are going to look at that and be very confused and not know, well, what sort of work does this person do? Is she going to be able to do the sort of work that I want? So yeah, I think that's a really valid point, is finding that niche. Now, I guess a big part of your niche is your commitment to being a cruelty-free makeup artist. Talk to us a little bit about that. Was that something that was important to you right from the start, or did that develop?
Um, I think initially I wasn't so aware.
Hmm.
So when I first started, I bought my first brush set, as you do, my 25 beautiful brushes in their leather, um, carry case. all the brushes except for I think the foundation and maybe the lip brush were made from animal hair,
Hmm.
and the technology just wasn't there. But we've
Yeah.
come a long way. So I think that's sort of yeah, I was definitely interested in or so have had some awareness about cruelty free and what that meant in terms of makeup. But it was difficult to transition that into, you know, usable products
Mm.
in my kit, because it just there wasn't the awareness, there wasn't the, you know, like social media wasn't so huge. We just really didn't know
Mm.
what went on. You know, you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I have always been a huge advocate for animals and a huge animal lover, and I wanted that to translate into my makeup.
Hmm.
But it definitely did take me a few years to start that process.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what it tell us a little bit about what that looked like. Was it just as you were replacing products, you started to look for cruelty-free brands? Or did you just kind of go, that's it, I'm going to throw out all my foundations and buy a new line?
Yeah.
Or
No, it was definitely a transition.
yeah,
Especially for me, like I hate throwing things out, I hate
yeah.
waste.
Mm,
So I didn't want to, you know, just discard everything. And it was hard too because you work with those products and you learn to love and use those products. So it's like you've got to find a suitable alternative before you just say,
absolutely.
I'll just chuck them off.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a transition over years. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Was there a lot of trial and error there?
Yeah. A lot of fails that end up in your own makeup kit where you're just like, oh God, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, you know, at the start, there wasn't a lot of brands and they weren't known for their longevity and their performance.
Mm,
So, you know, being that I do special events and special occasions and weddings, you want to know that those products will go the distance. They will last all day. You know, you're not going to have some bride freaking out calling you saying, my face just slid off.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was definitely part of the process too.
Mm, mm. And what are some of your favorite brands that you've discovered then?
Oh, so many.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear that there are so many now. Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many now. Element 2,
Mhm.
you know, back in the day when I first started, I was airbrushing and I used Temp 2, which I do still like as a product, but it just became quite difficult to find that in Australia, to find a you know, a good
Mhm.
supply. So I transitioned to Element 2, the Canvas Blend Airbrush Foundation. So that's just been a staple in my kit forever. I can use it for brides, I can use it on set, you know, for commercial stuff because it's just like yeah, just really easy to work with, just applying it with a brush or a
Mhm.
sponge. Um, so many brands now are just coming out with, you know, they'll start with one or two niche products
Mhm.
and then they'll just transition from there. So I know Bare Minerals,
Yep.
um, they're doing a lot more vegan stuff now. Hourglass, you know, they've always been committed to cruelty free,
Mhm.
but since 2021 they transitioned to vegan too. So I do love Hourglass, all their powders,
Yep. Mhm.
and ah, we could just talk for hours on this subject.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really interesting point, though. Can you just explain to us the difference, I guess, for those of us who maybe not quite 100% on the difference between cruelty-free and vegan?
Absolutely. So two definitely separate um, categories, if you
Mhm.
will. So cruelty free means not this product or the ingredients have not been tested on animals.
Mhm.
So animals like rabbits, monkeys, puppies. So it means that that product has been tested for safety, for efficacy on
Mhm.
an animal and deemed fit for us to put on our face.
Yeah.
Whereas vegan means that it doesn't have any animal products in the,
Okay.
the finished product. So that might be lanolin, which is from sheep's wool. It might be
Mhm.
beeswax. It might be carmine, which is from crushed beetles,
Mhm.
um, as well as all your other stuff.
I'll admit that I was never really that aware that there were that many animal products in our products that we put on our faces and bodies and that sort of thing. So it's really interesting. Obviously, it's becoming more and more of a trend. I mean, you've only got to walk around the supermarket now and just see there's vegan here and vegan there, or you know, go to. I went to a fast food restaurant with my son yesterday, which is not something I normally do, and they had vegan options on like probably 30% of the dishes. So it's becoming more and more widespread and acceptable, which I think is a great thing. And it's
Yep, yep.
probably a good thing for you too, because this building awareness is obviously driving more clients to you, would you say?
Absolutely. And it's really exciting.
Mm,
It makes me feel so happy because, initially it was sort of like, oh, I don't know about this makeup artist. Maybe she just uses some mineral stuff, mineral powder. I don't know.
yep.
Whereas now that we do know that there's a lot more options and products available, I am actually approached by companies. I mean, definitely a bride.
Hmm.
They will search vegan makeup artist, vegan hairstylist.
Yep.
So that's super exciting. But now more so in the last 12 to 18 months, brands.
Mm,
So maybe they're sustainable, they're ethical, and they want to continue that into their photo shoots,
yeah, right.
which is
Yep.
super exciting for me because there's not many of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a smaller pool. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. It's about that niche again, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. Awesome. Um, Tell us, what would be your best advice? I'm going to ask this question, like there's two parts to this question. The
Okay.
first part is, what is your best advice to any makeup artist, vegan, cruelty free or not, but just any starting out makeup artists? What is your best advice that you can give those people?
Oh, just be kind to yourself. Um, Practice and don't compare yourself to other people.
Mm,
Something I got from a makeup artist, Merton. I did his one of his classes, probably 5 or 6 years ago now, and he said, "Unfollow makeup artists.
mm,
Don't follow them. Like it's not helpful because you're seeing someone that's well into their career that might have 10, 20, 100,000 followers.
yeah.
Their work's not going to be the same as yours.
Hmm.
It's not helpful. So yeah, don't compare yourself to other people and just work on yourself for yourself."
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And so the second part of my question is for established makeup artists who might be getting these questions, I mean, it's always been, I've always said it's the second most common question after how much do you charge is
Mm,
what products are in your kit.
mm.
Um, so when you are getting those questions about, are you cruelty free? Are you vegan? For those artists who are thinking of transitioning to becoming more cruelty free
Yeah.
in their kits, what would be your best advice to them?
Oh, so I guess research.
Hmm.
You're going to need to do some research, and you're going to need to do some product testing.
Yep.
So, places like Sephora. So, Sephora's actually just decided in the last sort of 18 months to launch this like
Hmm.
clean section, and more recently vegan, a lot more vegan products. Previously
Wow.
you'd search and there'd be like three things that would come up vegan. Now it's like a list. So
Mm,
do research, go and get some samples, try them out on yourself, test them and see what you like. Also blogs are really helpful.
mhm.
There's awesome blogs out there. Ethical Elephant, Pretty Kitty Cruelty Free, I think she's called. If you just search like cruelty
I'll
free
put
and
these down in the comments.
yeah, and
Yeah.
vegan blogs,
Mm,
that will help you because they're updating these things all the time. It's so helpful rather than you going
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then just hone in on, you know, if you're going to transition or if you're thinking of transitioning, what's your most used product? Like
Mm,
that's going to be the first thing that you replace.
Yeah.
that's going to
Yeah.
be the thing that you're using the most. So like it might be mascara or
Mascara. Mm,
foundation, your
yeah.
skincare, stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. So I've got some rapid fire questions for you.
Excited.
Well, you've probably already answered the first one, which is your favorite foundation for bridal, and you've talked about Element 2. So I'm going to flip it now, and I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite mascara?
Model Co.
Model Co.
Model Co Lash Extend. It's water resistant. You can buy it online or you can buy it at Woolworths. And if you get it on sale, you can get it at 40% off.
Wow. Yeah.
Bargain. And it doesn't, so I find sometimes with waterproof, if a client has a really oily skin around the eye, which I do, you still get that smudgy pandery look.
Yeah.
Whereas the Model Co's a tubing mascara.
What
So
is
it
a
doesn't,
tubing? Yeah, I was going to ask that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really need to. Like, I did the interview with Joanne Dromgold recently, and
Yes.
she talked about the pony cosmetics. I don't
Yes.
know if is that one cruelty free or vegan? Do you know?
It's cruelty free. I'm not sure that it's vegan. I think it might have beeswax in it.
Okay, okay, yeah.
But
That
I think
does.
I did look at that, and I think it's about $30 for a
Okay,
tube. And I went, the rate I use mascara,
yeah,
$9 sounds better.
yeah, absolutely. All right, Model Co. I'm going to try that one. And then the next question is, which makeup artist or artists inspire you the most, and why?
Oh, my heart, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Quan. Oh, I just cry thinking about him. He was just such an amazing human. And he had this magnetic personality. You know, he started out, so he was adopted, and I think he was a bit, obviously he wasn't a straight man.
Mm,
And he just wanted to experiment and thought, maybe I can be creative and be a makeup artist. And, you know, growing up he was born in 62. So,
mm,
growing up in the 70s, it was like,
yeah. In Louisiana.
in Louisiana, exactly. So I think, yeah, he did move to New York, and it just sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but he did have this magnetic personality where people just wanted to be in his chair.
Mm, mm,
And, he ended up doing every one of those supermodel makeup. He, share like just every single celebrity. But
yeah.
he was also this amazing human. And he was also, such an amazing advocate for the LGBTQIA community as well. He
Mhm.
just was just this beautiful person.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that's just such a cool thing in itself,
Yeah.
for people
As
to
well as
really.
being an amazing makeup artist.
Exactly. And he really did, he also really popularized contouring
Decades before the Kardashians.
ages and ages. And he
Mm,
sort of he transitioned it from, the drag and the stage scene to
mm,
more being this inclusive. And I think that was some of his appeal to those celebrities. They were like, oh, I want
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Kevin, do
yeah,
me. Yeah.
yeah. In my last video before this one, I actually talked about Kevin. And I talked about how, and I forget who actually said the quote. It might have been Andy McDowell, but was one of the actresses that that he worked with a lot, because he used to often be invited to go as their +1 along to the Oscars and all these
Yes.
awards. And one of them said that, you know, Kevin has this incredible ability to make you feel like you're the most important person in the world. And that's why they loved him. So
Yes.
yeah, he was, decades ahead of his time in terms of a makeup artist, but as you say, an incredible human. And my last question for you is, if you could do anyone's makeup, living or dead, who would that be?
Such a tough question, but David Bowie
Wow.
or Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my vibe.
Yeah.
I grew up in that era and I just love that big hair, crazy, let's be creative and put stuff on our face, except for brides. But
Which is really interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, which is really interesting because your, you know, your style is that just beautiful, glowy skin, natural makeup. So yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Would you make them look natural or would you go all out?
Look, we could start with natural, but I have heard I heard Ray Morris talk about doing Cyndi Lauper's makeup, and she just wanted all the black, all the black, all the black eye, all the black eyeliner.
Wow.
So I thought, well, that would be fun. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
She says it hides the wrinkles.
Yeah, well, I guess drawing attention away, you know, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
do. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Awesome. Well, Carly, thank you so much. Is there anything that you would like to add? Anything else that you
No,
wanna
I
talk
don't
about?
think so. I just think, if you wanna dip your toe in, just give it a go. It's not as hard as it was. It's so much easier.
Definitely.
And we do have the products now that will perform, and you can feel confident, using those products on your clients. And, my feeling is no no bunny should have to suffer for somebody's beauty.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, Carly, for being with us.
Thank you for having
Folks,
me.
Carly, let us know where people can find out more about you. Do you have Instagram, website? Where's the best place for people to come and find out
Yeah,
about you?
all of those. You can find me at my website, which is www.carlystonemakeup.com. I'm on Facebook, Carly Stone MUA, and I have two Instagrams. So I have a Carly Stone MUA for my commercial and corporate sort of work, and then I have Brides by Carly Stone, which is dedicated to my bridal looks.
Awesome. And I'll put those links obviously down in the comments down below.
Cool.
If you've got any questions for Carly, drop them in the comments down below, and I will ask those questions to her or have her come on to the YouTube and answer those questions for you. If you've liked this video and enjoyed the chat with Carly, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to ring the bell so that you're notified next time a makeup artist chat interview is uploaded. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye.